there were an issue in terms of completing the configuration. So we checked with Oracle team. So there is unknown bug it seems. So they are asking to recreate it. So what I'll do is that I'll try once again. If not, I have configured already for the other office. Probably I'll show there. So when basically this auto accounting will become mandatory is that when I have the invoices that is coming from the other modules or the other application. So let's say I have an setup wherein I have my core business into different system, but whereas my financial data, whatever the data, the accounting data, accounting repository will be uh, the final destination would be the Fusion application. So for those cases, what will happen? We will have set of integrations and the rules written for it. So we will see in detail. So those things, the auto accounting, and also we have the logboards and the other details. So before that, if at all I'm receiving the transactions or the invoices from the other application, so that is when I will need this auto accounting rule. Or else if I want to automate my distribution, so on those cases I will need these configurations. But here I also have the option of choosing it manually. Okay. So what I will do is that I will try to pick it up from here. So if not, I'll show both the options. So so that is manual and also the automated way how it is generated automatically based on what configurations. We will see that. Okay. So let me pick this one, auto accounting rule. Okay, so for this I have already done with setups. So I will pick the first one. Let me check. It shouldn't have any. Yeah, it doesn't have any setup. So let me create one. And so here, what I'm doing is that. So we saw on the other day. So what are the options that I have? If at all I want to generate my account code combination or to set up accounts. So if you see here, so these are the accounts that we will be doing the setup as a part of the mandatory steps. So firstly, I'll give auto accounting clearing account. So in this case, I'm not giving this one. So what I'm doing is that I'm giving the standard values. So standard values is nothing but so this is kind of an hard coded value that I'm giving. So irrespective of my transaction type, so it is going to pick this particular combination if at all I'm using Metro Business Unit. So the other business unit we had is Metro Business Unit 1. So this is the other one. If at all I'm choosing this business unit, so this is the account code combination that system is going to generate. Okay. So here, let me select the respective accounts. Okay, the same issue. I think there is a bug with this. So what I'll do is that I'll show what I have done for the other business unit. Okay. So this is what I have defined. So in this case, I have defined only for receivables and revenue, because what we are trying to achieve here is that we are creating a simple invoice. Okay. So this simple invoice will have accounting entry only for receivable and revenue. So my receivable will be on the debit side, and my revenue would be on the credit side. So from where we are deriving for this particular combination is that from this particular setup called auto accounting rule. Because what I have done is that I did not attach any transaction or the customer site as a value source. But instead, what I have done is that I have given the constant value for this, which means when I do an invoice or when I create an invoice with this business unit called Metro Express Mauritius Business Unit. So this would be the combination that is for both receivables and revenue. Okay. So apart from that, if we have taxation and the other things, so that will come into place. Okay. So for now, what I need is that only the basic configurations for the receivable and revenue part. So we have it in place. So I'll show with both the things. So one is that we did not create this auto accounting rule, so that would become a manual account addition. The other case is that system will automatically generate these distributions. So we will see both the cases. Okay. Yeah, so we have seen these things. So that is transaction type, transaction source, and these informations. Okay. So we will see the manual invoice. So after that, we will speak about the auto invoice. So wherein we will speak about the grouping rules and the line ordering rules. Okay. Yeah. So apart from that, we will also have to do the receipt related configurations. So for this, I'll have to navigate to customer payments. So under customer payments, firstly, I'll do the receipt class and method configuration. Okay. So the prerequisite for this is that bank account creation. So bank account creation is straightforward, and we have seen it. So I'm not going into it. So if required, probably we will see one when we are handling the cash management. Okay. So for now, what I'll do is that I'll pick one. Okay. Okay. Let me do one thing. Let me create a new one, and I'll show you what are the options that we have under cash. I mean receipt class and the method. Okay. So let me name this as probably the direct option. Okay. So now here, if you see, we have an option called creation method. So creation method, we have two things. So one is that either it could be automatic or it could be manual. So the bill receivable is different concept where bills receivable is used wherein we have an instrument, let's say letter of credit. So what will happen in case of letter of credit is that we will have certain terms specified there. So let's say 3 months. So what we will do, we will have a kind of an agreement wherein this will be paid on so and so date. But we will create this receipt and we will attach these bills receivable and these things. So that is when we will use the bills receivable functionality. So for now, what we are seeing is that manual and automatic. So now, what is manual is that a system will, I mean, system is not going to create automatically receipt. So system will create the invoice based on the parameter, if at all I'm importing from either order management or the external application. So after receiving it, what we will do, we will complete those transactions, and that particular invoice, whatever we have created, will be available for our receipt. Okay, so that is about it. So that's what. So we will do this creation as an automatic. At what case when we have an invoice that will be created automatically. So this will we will deal it in logbots processing. So we will see what is logbots and why do we use it and how to do it, all those things. So for now, the receipt method is nothing but the manual option. Okay. And then we have remittance. So what exactly is remittance is that it is nothing but we are just depositing the payment instrument that we received from customer. Okay. So let's say customer gives a check to me. So what I'll do is that I will create an receipt. I'll say this is the check number. So my check number becomes my receipt number. Okay, because that becomes my unique reference point. So that is the reason, as in standard practice, we will not have automated way of using a receipt number. Instead, that will be a manual process wherein we will input either it is a check number, or let's say a customer has did an NEFT transaction or IMPS transaction. So we will capture the UTR number. So UTR number is nothing but unique reference number. So the UTR number that we will speak about in cash management is different from the receipt unique number. Okay, so that's about it. So that's what. Basically, it's nothing but we are depositing our instrument with bank, and bank will check the respective account, and it will make the respective payment and give us the bank statement, and we will match this bank statement with our transaction, that is receipt. Okay, so this is the overall process. So now, if you see here, in receipt, in remittance, we have four options. So one is that standard. So standard is nothing but we know that we will do the remittance and then we will match it with our either the bank statement, or we have an option to clear it automatically. So there are different options. Okay, and then we have an option called factoring. So this option is not used widely, but also we have this option. If at all I have a requirement, I can utilize this. So where I can utilize this is that most of the countries, like Asian countries or the Asia Pacific region, probably we might not see, even the African or the Middle East regions, we might not see the option of factoring. So in case if we take US and let's take Europe, so more than US, European countries use factoring as an what do you call the receipt method. So what exactly is factoring is that this is kind of an agreement between the supplier and the customer, and what supplier will say is, so this is basically the bank to bank communication, wherein I'll go to bank and I will surrender my receipt, whatever I have it. Let's say I have a due with a customer on let's say 10th of August. So now today I have a requirement for probably $10,000. So what I will do, I'll go to bank and I'll surrender my receipt, and probably I'll get 60 or 70% of the receivable amount from this particular customer. So how system will treat this is that as a short-term debt. Okay. So we will receive this amount, and when this get matured, so bank will clear and it will knock off with the respective debt account. Okay, so that's about the factoring. So basically, this is nothing but handling the debt and the loan part. So that's about the factoring using specific instruments. Okay, and third option that we have is that standard and factoring. So we know that we saw factoring and the standard. So that's the thing. So if I want to use either factoring and standard, so I will enable this option. And last option that I have is that no remittance. Okay, so here no remittance is nothing but I'm not dealing with any payment instrument which involves bank. So that's the simple understanding. So now For what cases I will not have bank interaction is that, let's say I'm running an supermarket, let's say Walmart. So in this case, I don't need any remittance to be made. Okay, so what I will do is that I'll get the cash from customer, and I'll sell the items whatever customer is procuring. So I will just sell it. So in this case, there is no bank interaction. So I will not need an remittance because I don't have any payment instrument involved in it. So for those cases, I can use this no remittance. Okay. So when I'm selecting no remittance, which means clearing method would be always directly, which means I don't use any control account or any clearing account. So instead, the moment I enter this receipt and I save this particular receipt, my status will be changed automatically to cleared. Okay, so that is about directly, because I don't need to wait for anything. I get cash, I create receipt, and the moment I create receipt, I wanted to see the status as cleared. Okay, so that's about this option. And then I have okay, let me speak about matching first, and then I'll come to automatic clearing. So now I have by matching. So by matching is nothing but our uh, the bank statement that we are receiving from bank. Okay, so we have the unique transaction reference. So we have certain parameters that we can match with. So that we will speak about in cash management. So there are a lot of parameters that we can use using matching rule, and the matching rule set we can do those options. So this is nothing but matching with cash management if my transaction is getting reconciled. So after reconciled, what will happen is that my receipt status will change to cleared. Okay, so that's about the matching. And the last option that we have is that automatic clearing. So automatic clearing will happen when we have the clearing house on the other options, wherein the clearing will be happening automatically, wherein it is not with intimation. So for those cases, what we will do is that we will run an concurrent program, I mean the schedule program. So what the schedule program will do is that this will basically clear the receipt after I run this particular program and I see the status as success. So my receipt status will change to cleared. Okay, so that's about the automatic clearing. So we will see each one of it. So for now, what I'm doing is that I'm just showing these options. And yeah, one thing that I will create is that with no remittance and direct. Okay, and the other option that we have is that standard by matching. So for now, we will see both these options. And after seeing this, we will see also the automatic clearing. Okay. So let me give, so this part, whatever the header information we are seeing is nothing but our receipt class. So whatever we are giving here, so this is what we are calling it as receipt method. So for one class, I can have more than one receipt method also. So in this case, what I'm doing is that I'm creating only one receipt method, that is Metro Direct. Okay, so we have an option called debit memo inherit receipt number. So what is this functionality, or what is this option is that, let's say I have created an receipt. So when I will create receipt is that when I receive amount or any sort of confirmation from customer that I will receive the amount on so and so date. Either it could be the immediate effect I could receive into my account, or probably some instrument which will reflect in some days. Okay, so now I have created my receipt, and after, let's say 2 or 3 days, customer comes back and says that I wanted to return one item. So here we have two possibilities. So either we can do a normal reversal, or probably we can use the debit memo reversal. So the difference is that if I say a normal reversal, so this is nothing but I'm handling inside my receipt application. But when I say debit memo, it is going to affect my invoice balances. Okay, so that's the difference. So now, if I say debit memo inherit receipt number, so this debit memo will be automatically created in invoice. So I will identify using this receipt number. So this receipt number will come as a prefix. So this is how I will identify. So if I want this option to be used, so I can enable this option. Okay. So for now, I'm not enabling these options, and then I have the business unit that I can assign. Okay, so as I said, we will see the bank account when we see the cash management. Okay, so for now, what I'm doing is that I'm assigning, I'm attaching the business unit and the bank and bank accounts. Okay, so here if you see, so there are certain fields that has been grayed out, which means we will not be able to edit anything. So the reason being is that, so since I have selected this as a direct option, so I don't need the remittance, factoring, receipt confirmation, all those information. So that is the reason these are the options that has been grayed out. Okay. So here I will have to give probably 4 to 6 accounts. Okay. So I'll give these things. So yeah, so before that I'll explain this one also. So when I will basically see the unapplied receipt is that when I created receipt, but I give me a minute. Yeah, so I have created a receipt, but I did not include any transaction. I just mentioned this receipt is for probably the $10,000. So it doesn't make any, I mean, it doesn't refer any transaction. So that is the reason this is unapplied receipt. Okay, which means I did not apply. Okay, so let's say the other case that we have is that unidentified. So unidentified is nothing but system couldn't identify which transact against which transaction that we are creating this particular receipt. So that case is what we call it as unidentified receipt. Okay. And then we have on account receipt. So what exactly is on account receipt is that let's say there is a scenario. Let's take a big basket as an example. So what will happen is that I will purchase, let's say I purchase some X item on 10 quantities. So in this case, what I will do is that I will check my item and I will return 2 items for any reason. Let's say I have received or I have bought from other shop, nearby shop already. So I'm returning these 2 items. Okay. So this return can be handled at 2 ways. Either I can get the refund, or what can happen is that I can get this way. That is to store in my wallet. So in Big Basket, if you see, we will not get the refund. Instead, this will be stored in our wallets. So I can use it at later purchase. So that is exactly the on account, which will be in on the account, and I can use it for the future purchase that I'm making. Okay. So let me pick the account. And then we have another option called unearned revenue, and we have the earned revenue, these things. So this is part of invoice in arrear and invoice in advance. So we will see that later part. And yeah, and apart from that, we have the discount part as well. Okay, so these are the accounts that I will have to give as a mandatory to complete this setup. So I have given these details. Okay. So now we are done with creating, yeah, so now we are done with creating the reset class and reset method. So what I'll do is that with this, I will create one reset source. So what reset source signifies is that it will define from what is the mode of this particular receipt creation and from where I'm getting this receipt. Basically, the origination or the origination point. Okay, so in this case, since I'm not using any automated way of creating the receipt, so this would become my manual receipt creation. So what I will do is that I will create this as a manual. So here if you see we have automatic and here we have manual. So for now I'm creating only the manual option. Okay. So here let me pick the one that we created just now. So that is Metro Direct. Okay. And here if you see we have batch numbering. So batch numbering is nothing but the receipt numbering. So whether we want to use it automatic or manual. So most of the cases this would be a manual option. The reason being is that we will use the instruction number, payment instruction number. We will not use our own sequence. To use our own sequence, still we have the document sequence option. So wherein we can utilize that to generate a unique sequence. But this will be used as an to capture the unique payment reference number. Okay, so that's it. So I'll just complete this receipt source setup as well. Okay, so next step is to create the customer. Yeah, so there are two places that I can create a customer. So one is at setup level. So here we have an option called define customer. So I can create it from here. Or what I can do is that I can create it from the receivable infolets also. So we will see that as well. So for now, I'm creating from here. Okay. So here, if you see, I have customer type. So customer type could be either the company or the organization as a whole, or this could be a person. So when this can be a person is that when this is an internal employee that we are handling. Okay. So let's say we have given so an employee is traveling on a personal trip or the official trip, and now this expense will be reimbursed, and now this amount comes back to the company. So whatsoever the reason, so this particular person will be registered as an person. Okay. Also for few cases like the what do you call if at all I'm using the supermarket business or the retail business, what will happen? In that case, also I will have the person as an customer. Okay. So most of the cases it is used as an organization. So the registration will not change based on this selection. So it is same. The fields are same. So I'm just using the organization to register the customer. Okay. Okay, so there are a lot of informations that we can capture in terms of taxation and the legal compliance part. So for now, I'm not touching those things because we have a lot of information that we can capture. Okay, so the primarily what we will look at here is that the name of the customer, and we will have the account number that is generated. And if I want to give the description, I can give, and we have the account type. So we have either it is an internal customer or external customer. So external customer is actual customer and internal customer is inside our company. Okay. And then we have customer class. So customer class is nothing but basically it gives the rating or it gives the trustworthy of the customer. Okay. So based on that, we will create the customer profile and the customer class. Okay. So I'll just select this as customer. And here, if you see, we have something called account address set. So account address set is nothing but our reference data set. So here, if you see, we will not be able to see the what do you call just give me a minute. Okay. So here if you see here, we don't have an reference set called common, but if you have noticed in GLR AP, so we had a reference set called common. So common can be used everywhere, most of the cases. But here in the receivable, especially if you see, so whatever configuration that we are doing, so that will be on the basis of reference data set that we are creating. Okay. So this we can create it when we are creating the business unit. So basically, how system is understanding this reference set is that using the list of BUs that is being attached. So there are two possibilities that I can understand this. So first thing is that I have a business unit that is attached to one particular reference data set. So no other business unit is attached to this particular reference data set. Okay, so which means this customer will be accessed only by that particular business unit. So when I'm attaching a role to this particular user called A, so I will attach this particular reference data set. I will not attach at business unit level, because what will happen is that one option is this one, and the other option is that I can create four or five business unit, but I will be able to use one particular reference data set, which means this one reference data set will have access to five different BUs. So this will happen in a case where let's say I'm a manager who handles five branches. So in this case, I wanted to have access to all these five offices, not all the offices, but these five offices. So for those cases, I will create a reference data set and I will create the customer, which means whichever office I wanted to create this transaction, so I'll be able to see those details there. So that's the understanding. Okay, so that's the importance of this reference data set. So when we were creating the business unit, we created a reference data set called Metro. So I'm just attaching the same here. Okay. So yeah, but we cannot use the common set that we are creating. So we'll not be able to attach that particular option. Okay. So that's about it. And apart from that, we have the address that we can give. So I'm just giving the site name as probably the main office. Okay. So when we are speaking about the what do you call the foreign and the local customers, so this is how basically we will define. So based on the country or the origin of this particular customer. Okay. Since our ledger is created on the basis of Mauritius, so unless I select this customer as Mauritius, so system will not understand this as an local customer. So this will be treated as the foreign customer, the other than Mauritius. Okay. So I'm just giving the same detail, that is Mauritius. Okay, and now if you see here, so we have address purpose. So address purpose is nothing but for what I'm creating this address. So this could be for various reasons. Okay, so this could be for bill to, or this could be for ship to. So it could be different also. The address could be different also for bill to and ship to. The reason being is that probably I might ship my all those details to customers warehouse, but the billing and the other information might go to the head office where they will make the payment. Okay, so that depends on the requirement how we want to map those things. So it could be different. Okay, and apart from that, we have also deliver to, and then we have dunning and dry legal other options. Okay. So dunning is nothing but it is just giving a notice to a customer that it has due has crossed. So for that also we can use this particular address. So for now I'm using this address for bill to and ship to. Okay. So I have added it. So I can add any number of lines. So what I'll say specify is that I will specify this as ship to. Okay. So since I specified this as ship to, so system is asking, so how do I want to handle the bill to? So since the bill to address is also same, so I'm attaching the same address here as well. Okay. So now if I want to set this as default, so what I can do is that I can select this particular line and I can say, I can click this as set as primary. So this will become my default address to make. Okay. Yeah. So we are done with customer creation. So now what we will do is that we will check our account configurations that we have. Okay. So Metro customer is the one that we created. So this is the address that we gave, that is 23 First Street. Okay. So now, if you see, we have one account that has been created with the classification external. So now, if I want to have the additional account that to be maintained for this customer, so I can have the additional accounts also configured. So at what reason or at what case I will use additional account is that, let's say there is an business scenario wherein there are 3 to 4 accounts that has been maintained by the customer, this particular customer. So this is a regular trustworthy customer who does with large value of sales. So what I will do is that I will privilege this with 3 to 4 accounts, and for this each account, I also can have multiple sites. Okay. So in this case, we are having only one account and one site, but it is not limited to one account or one site. It can be multiple. Okay. So I'll just take this, and here we have certain options that we can enable. Okay. So if I want to set a default reset method, so I can set it up here. So based on this, system is going to automate when I'm creating or when I'm matching this particular reset with the customer. So when this will be useful is that when I have the auto reset that is created using the logbots and the other features. So if I'm creating the reset automatically, so this will be helpful in terms of identifying the reset method and the other details. Okay. And then we have the payment instruments that we can attach. So I can attach my credit card and the other details. Okay. And also the banks. Could be the bank transfer. So I can add those information here. Okay. So in for India scenario, what will happen is that we will not have IBAN. Instead, we will have IFSC code. So we will have to do a few changes to this particular field. The validation would be different. So we will have to change this validation, and we will have to make this as an IFSC code. But we don't have any public API wherein it will validate those information. But we will have to write it by our own, the basic validations for IFSC. Okay. And then we have debit authorization. So debit authorization is nothing but it is kind of an so let's take a case of Flipkart. So what will happen is that so Amazon basically will not allow these kind of purchases wherein you will purchase using the debit card, and this debit card will have month on month EMIs and the other things if you purchase on a EMI plan. So which means I'm allowing this particular seller to deduct on month on a particular amount. Okay, so this we call it as debit authorization. So we can enable it here. Okay, so using those things, we will have the bank charge and the other information that we will capture as a part of it. Okay, and Yeah, the notification part that we have it. So this is for again the debit authorization. Okay. So these are the things that we can attach in payment details. If at all I'm using the automated way of creating the receipts and these information, so I can attach these details. Okay. And communication is just additional information that I can capture. Okay, it's nothing but the contact details of this particular business. Okay, so that's about it. Okay, and then if I want to add another account, which means this particular account what I have attached here, so this account called 52117, so this will become my parent account, and whatever account that I'm creating here would become my child account. So why do I attach a child account, or why do I use this particular option called a related account is that when I have a process wherein I will have to reciprocate this particular customer. So let's say there is a case where customer A and B are already in a trade agreement. So A is selling to B. So now Mr. A has come to me for some purchase. So he has bought something, let's say X quantity of X A item. So in this case, already B has to owe some amount to A. So instead of A paying directly to me, what will happen is that A will tell to B that you directly pay to this particular supplier which I have already purchased. So for these cases, what we will do is that we will set up the related accounts, okay, and we will say this assemble to ship to these information we will give. So the moment we say this, I can receive the amount from this particular customer also, okay. So the other option that I have is that to enable unrelated transaction. So that is different from the related account, because the difference is that if I say unrelated account, which means I can receive the item from the different business unit also, but that is the in terms of branches. But this we are speaking about different customer itself. Instead of A paying, so B customer will be paying to us. Okay, so that's about the relationship. Okay, and then I have the profile that I can maintain. So profile is nothing but it will just give me the overall information that I'm just using to create any transaction in receivable. So if you see here, so it will start from the profile class. So the profile class, I did not create any new profile class. So instead system has created it, and I'm just seeing the information whatever is there. Okay. Yeah, so this is about the account. So the similar information that we will have it in site as well. So one thing that will be additional is that giving the account code combination there. So the reason why we will give account code combination is that, so let's say I have an requirement wherein I wanted to have different accounts that should be generated if the customer is A or B or C, whatever it is. Okay, so in this case, I can attach since we have already given this auto counting rule at that level. So I couldn't see the business unit because I did not assign the, I mean, I did not give the roles access to this particular user for this particular business unit. Okay, so anyway, we have already created the auto counting rules. So probably we might not need this. Okay, I think I opened somewhere the site details. Okay, so that's what. So anyway, we have given auto counting. So what I will do is that I'll close this page, and we will see what are the roles that I will have to give to this particular user in order to create invoice and receipt. Okay. So I'll just say data access for user, and I'll give the access to the user. Okay, so this is a shared service. So I can, so shared service is nothing but this particular configuration will be shared across the modules or the offerings or the features. Okay. So which means I can just simply select the different module. That is, if I want to select asset book, I can select, or probably the business unit or reference data set. So this is a shared unit, that is shared configuration. So that's the reason I'm unable to navigate using the inventory option as well. Okay, but the configuration is same. So here what I will do is that I'll give access to this user called Metro user. So that is the user that I have logged in. So there are two options that we will have to give. So one is that receivable manager, and the other one is that receivable specialist. So these are the two options that we will have to give. So in this case, I can give either at business unit, or I can give it at reference dataset. So we saw that we can give at both the levels. So that is business unit or this reference dataset. So the difference is that under business unit, of course, I will have only one business unit that has been populated. But when I say reference dataset, it could be one or it could be more than one also. Okay, so reference dataset, I think I have given it already. So it will say it's a duplicate value. So what I'm doing is that I'm creating for the other unit. Okay, so similarly, we will create, or we will give access to the accounts receivable specialist as well. Okay, I think I have given access already. Okay, so let me do this thing. So since I have given access already, so what we can do is that we can test a transaction. So now after giving the access, we should be able to see the receivable info. I think it should be somewhere. Probably I'm missing it. Yeah, it is here. So now we have three tiles here. So one is that billing, accounts receivable, and revenue. So now when we say billing, it is nothing but our invoice part, and account receivable is nothing but our receipt part, and revenue is nothing but our revenue recognition and these things. So when we will do revenue recognition is that when we have the invoice in advance and the other concepts that comes in. So we will see those options probably tomorrow. So today what we will see is that we will create this simple invoice and receipt. Okay. So this is our landing page for our billing infolet, the tile. So if you see here on the left hand side, so we will have immediate actions that we will have to take. So the list of incomplete transactions, so that will vary from different buckets. So that is 0 to 10 days or 10 plus days. Okay. So if I want to personalize this particular infolet, so I have an option wherein I can use the page composer, and probably I should work on that. Okay. And similarly, we have our approval, and so approval is nothing but the adjustment and the other things. So we will have to do it as a part of adjustment. Okay. So that's about it. And then we have the additional information that we can get it from here. Okay. So the adjustment part basically. And then we have the import exceptions. So import exceptions is nothing but our auto invoice. So auto invoice is nothing but a feature wherein our system allows us to import our invoices from external application or from the external modules or the offering. That is our order management. Okay. So we will see this part at later stage. We will handle it at later stage. So now I'll create one manual invoice. So I'll say create transaction. Okay. So here I can select, so I'll do two things. So one is that I'll select, firstly I'll select using the Metro Express Mauritius Business Unit. And second transaction, I'll pick this one called Metro Business Unit. Okay. So for Metro, I don't know if I have this created. Yeah, for Metro, I don't have this created. So that is why system is picking the manual option. Okay. Okay. Let me not change this as well. So I'm just using the manual option. So here, if you see the transaction number column is grayed out, and this document number is nothing but our voucher number, which I was saying. So if at all I wanted to have an unique number or the sequence that should be generated, so this I can enable it at invoice level, also for my receipts. Okay, but this is not mandatory. So this depends on business to business whether they want to use this functionality or they want to handle it only at or with transaction number and the receipt number. Okay. So in this case, we did not enable this option. So that is why if you see this is grayed out, and the transaction number is grayed out because we did not save this. If you remember in our system options, we gave when I want to create the transaction number is when I save or complete this transaction. Okay, so that is when it will generate the transaction number. Okay, so that's about it. So what I will do is that I'll pick the, okay, let me pick from here. Okay, I think I did not attach it with this business unit. I attached with the different one, so that's why it's not appearing. So I created for the another one, that is DHL. So probably I'll use this one. Okay, so now if I want to attach my item, I can attach it, provided I have given my inventory unit in system options. So if you remember, we had an option called item mark. So where if I have attached there, so I'll be able to attach the items that I have created under that particular inventory arc. Or I have two options. So one is that using the memo line. So memo line is for basically the what do you call the temporary basis. We will use the financial charge and other revenues that we will receive from customers. So for those cases, we can use the memo line. Okay. So for example, let's take an business. So this is an application-based business. Okay. Or so this case, what will happen is that I will collect my financial charges, and also I will collect the amount for my sales and these things. So for sales, definitely I will have the item that is created in my inventory. Either it could be an goods or it could be a service item. Okay, so based on that, I'll attach it here. So this will be my normal line item. But the other case is that this is in financial charge. So for financial charges, I will not create a separate item in my inventory. So instead, what I will do is that I will create a memo line. So this memo line will give me the information, or this will tell through the system that this is in financial charges, and also we will give the revenue accounts there. So from there, basically, system will pick up those accounts combination. So now what I'm doing is that I'm giving the description. I'm not using the account, or I'm not using the memo line. So memo line we will see after we see our normal process. Okay. Okay. So so let me give an adjacent name. Okay. So I'm just giving a description, and here I have the quantity and the price that I can determine. If at all I'm choosing item, so we will have the unit price defined at item level. So we will have those information captured from there. But in this case, we don't have any such information because this is a manual entry. So I'm giving it manually for both quantity and unit price. So based on this, system will show us the amount that customer has to pay us. Okay. Yeah. So let me save this. Okay. So now we have saved this transaction, but we did not complete this invoice. The moment we save this, the transaction number has generated, because when we are defining at system option, we gave this as an transaction generation at save. Okay. So now we have done it. So what I will do is that I can simply say complete and close, or I can say complete and review. So I'll say complete and review. Okay, there is a distribution account that I should give. Probably this is not generating the distribution accounts or tax, because because we gave only for revenue and uh, receivable. So that's the reason tax is null. So let me give an account here. Let me give a tax account. Okay, so it's not it is not always that I will use taxation account. Our system is not going to ask me taxation. Okay, so for which case it is going to ask me to enter the tax account code combination is that when I have enabled EB tax. So that is when system is going to ask me. So since I have enabled at the unit level, that is business unit. So if this is a common configuration taxation, system is not going to ask me to enter the taxation. Since I have selected this as a business unit, it is asking me. So I have entered it manually. But apart from that, if you see the receivable and revenue account, so that has been populated automatically based on the auto accounting rule that we give. That is constant value. Okay. So I'll just say review again. Yeah. So now this is done. So we can see the status. Yeah. So now we can see the status as completed. Okay. So it says it's complete. Okay. So now we can see that accounting as no, and the posted status is no. Also, this is not paid because we just created. So what I will do is that I'll do create accounting. So to do that, I will say post to ledger. Okay. So now if I look at my accounting, so my debit side would be the receivable. So we can see that. And credit side is my revenue and my taxation part. Okay. So this has been grouped. So if you see here, so we have the receivable and the revenue that has been splitted out. But whereas we don't have a separate receivable account, which means my credit side has two lines, but whereas my debit side has only one line. So this is because of my subledger accounting method that I had chosen, wherein so this is standard feature. So I'm just explaining for understanding purpose. So what will happen is that we will do this option called summarization. So this summarization, what it will do is that it will club this account code combination. So a actual accounting terms, if you see, so this is two different transactions. So that is my debit will contain both the 500 and 10,000. But since I have selected this as a summarization level, so it is saying that receivable is 10,500 and my revenue is 10,000 and tax is 500. Since these are two different account code combination. Okay. So now let's say I'm using the same revenue account. So we will not use the same revenue account. So probably it will be different. Okay, so for item, if it will vary, but if at all I'm using two different revenue account, it is going to club it and it is going to give me the consolidated credit amount. Okay, yeah. So we are done with the invoice, that is manual invoice. So now what we will do is that okay, we have the receipt that we will see. Okay, so it's 8. So we have other class schedule. So we'll see tomorrow. Uh, is that fine? Tomorrow we can have the longer session probably. Tomorrow and day after tomorrow. Is that fine?